Good evening and happy Friday, Lowdown Nation. It is episode 22 of the Lowdown with Matt, and tonight it is my pleasure to have with me Mr. Alec, who is the bass player extraordinaire of the great and fun The Lazy Ghouls. How you doing, Alec?
Absolutely. That's me. Thanks for having me, buddy.
Absolutely. Yeah, you having a good day?
Absolutely.
Very cool.
It's a happy Friday.
Yes, Fridays are always a happy thing.
Right. Yeah.
So we'll just go ahead and get into the content here. And Alec, how long have you been playing bass?
I'm gonna say playing bass specifically will go at about 3 years or now. Three years or so now. I
Okay.
started as a guitar player and made the eventual conversion, and bass is where I'm at and where I'm happy now. So
Nice. Yeah, you had said that you started with guitar roughly around ninth grade.
yeah, like 10-ish years ago, kind of.
Gotcha.
Um, yeah, yep.
So, have you taken lessons at any point, or are you pretty much self-taught? How has that gone?
I haven't taken any bass specific lessons, but when I started 10 odd years ago, I took about, uh, I'd say 2 years of lessons for guitar and then stopped.
Mhm.
Yeah. So
Gotcha.
what music theory I'm running off of is 8 years ago, early high school brain. So yeah.
Gotcha. So, as far as your particular playing style, are you pretty much a finger style player, or do you use a pick, or is it kind of a situational thing?
Um, for this, we're playing fast, we're playing aggressive. I'm running a pick almost the entire time. Um,
Hmm.
I've got lighter gauge strings on there. Um, but yeah, I will sometimes if we play Talk Tonight, I will play it with my fingers just to see. But otherwise, I'm running the majority of the songs with a pick.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, tell me a bit about your current gear and your live setup. What are you playing? What are you
Mhm.
playing through? Any pedal boards, that kind of thing?
I'm not running a pedal board at all. Um, I mostly prefer cheaper basses because I abuse them. I hit them. I put stickers on them. I ruin them. you know. Currently, my perfect Ghouls bass right now is just a Squire PJ bass. I think it's Olympic white with a maple fretboard. This thing was
Hmm.
like $200, and I just run it through that cheap P bass pickup, and it's incredible to me. um,
Awesome.
a, a lot of well, the amp that I'm using is an Ampeg combo. It's one of the newer rocket based ones. It's a four
Hmm.
by 4x10, I believe, 500 watts. It's got that built-in grit filter on it. Um, but the whole thing weighs 40 pounds, and it's so easy to lug around, and the mesh pops off, and it looks as old school as it possibly can. It sounds great too. I've got all the controls, most of the controls that I would need. Um, Sounds great to me, and the rest of the band seems to enjoy it. So, but yeah, I'm just running a cheap Squire bass and a Ampeg combo bass amp.
Gotcha.
uh,
So, do you have any preference yourself between 4 or 5 string or even higher string count basses?
I have a 5 string, and the 5 string is fun, but I mostly prefer a four. I'm
Hmm.
not opposed to a five, but I would prefer a four.
Gotcha.
Playing at home, I'll do
So,
fives all the time, but four, I don't want to mess up the the placement of the low B just messes with me when I'm hopping around and slamming my fingers against the board.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, I've got a 4-string Dean, which was my
Mhm.
first bass, and since then I've picked up a 5-string Ibanez that I just absolutely love. Mostly, I just love the way Ibanez guitars play in general,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
that thing is so light.
I
I
know.
mean,
I have a Sound Gear, SR 505, I think maybe is what it is.
mhm.
Um, yeah, fantastic. And I have for guitars, I have an RG 550 too, and it's one of my absolute favorite things that I own. Wizard boards are incredible.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So, musicians have a tendency to collect gear. Do
Mhm.
you have anything unique or unusual in your gear arsenal that you'd like to talk about?
I don't have anything spectacular bass wise, but
Hmm.
guitar stuff I have quite a bit. Um, I have a 1991 Charvel Predator. Um,
Nice.
I have I have two of the Alexi Laiho signature guitars. I have the purple ripped one, and then I have a green V from a couple of years ago. The only other cool thing I've got probably being um, I have a Dean Dave Mustaine Rust in Peace Flying V.
Oh, cool.
I got a handful of V's and odd shaped guitars. As far as pedals go, um, I have a first run EHX Pog. The huge one that's yay big, has as many knobs on it as possible. Um,
Gotcha.
but yeah, that's all the significant stuff that I've got.
So, something I always ask fellow bass players, just because it's really just kind of a funny question. How often do you change strings?
I cannot make a professional comment towards how often I'm changing strings. The last pair of strings, I just took them off and boiled them and threw them back on. So all good.
Yeah. Yeah, bass strings are not cheap.
No, they're
And
not. In this
you
economy,
I know, you have to practically take out a second mortgage
right?
to restring your bass.
Mhm.
Thankfully, bass strings seem to hold up, quite a bit better than standard guitar strings, so
Definitely. So I
yeah.
always I do have a pair that I keep on me, but this bass is still new, so um, it's not needed yet. But
Right,
I'm
right.
prepared for an emergency.
Gotcha, gotcha. So, what would you say are some of your personal musical influences, Alec?
Hmm. I am very much more metal influenced than I am punk influenced. Starting out, it was absolutely Cliff Burton and Steve Harris.
Mhm.
Later, as I got more and more into bass playing, my music tastes changed a little bit. I'm definitely going to say Simon Gallup from The Cure. Some later Concrete Blonde stuff is incredible, and I know Jeanette Napolitana is credited on that. I'll list her. And I'm a huge uh, Danzig fan too, and I'll throw his bassist Eerie Vaughn in there too.
Very cool.
Yeah,
So, what was the very first concert that you attended as a fan?
Lincoln Park.
Really?
Yeah,
Very cool.
2011 maybe.
Mhm.
Yeah, I remember it being the Thousand Suns tour at what was Phillips Arena in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was my first one.
You know, I regret never having had the chance to see Lincoln Park. Um, it's a shame. I'm hearing rumblings about them possibly doing something with a female singer, which
Mhm.
that's kind of an intriguing idea. But we'll see if there's actually any
Right.
fruit to that rumor.
I'll give it a shot.
But
You know.
but I mean, replacing Chester is really an impossibility, though.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to do it. I saw there was some cover tribute band on YouTube that did pretty decent. But no,
Mm-hmm.
they're never gonna touch him. But
No, no.
replacing them and continuing on could work out. I don't know if you've seen, but Lizzie Hale from Hailstorm is front Skid Row now, and that's working
Yeah,
out great. Yeah.
but so in the course of your musical career so far, Alec, have you had the opportunity to meet any of your musical heroes?
I've met quite a lot of them. um, I'm an autograph collector, dude.
Ah, cool.
Yeah. um,
Uh, have you had any unique stories you'd like to share?
Not so much about getting autographs or meeting people, but I could think of when I first my when I started my first year of high school, I met all the members of Megadeth, and then
Oh, cool.
my graduation 4 years later was also meeting the four members of Megadeth, and of course the lineup was not the same in the 4 years.
Right,
Yeah, that
right.
that's a cool
But
one. Alexi Leho is no longer with us. I met him when I was young. I have his autograph um, on my wall right now from when I met him when I was whatever 15, 16 years old. Yeah, those are
very
the
cool.
those are probably the two best ones for musical heroes.
Gotcha, gotcha. We were talking a little bit before we went on, and I've got to say it again. I love the shark suit. You said it was sort of a dare from the other guys in the band.
Right. It's quite fun, and we're rocking some teeth. My mobility is limited, but we can go completely covered up, and you know.
Nice.
But the worst part is the hands. I have no hands.
Yeah, you've basically just got flippers.
I know.
Before we progress on, I'm going to flip over to the Instagram tab and see if anybody's saying anything in chat over there.
Mm-hmm.
We've
I
got
see.
we've got a lot of people
Yeah.
logged in. Let's see here.
See, Izzy's in there.
Yeah, Izzy's loving the shark
Right.
onesie.
Izzy,
And
the lazy ghouls extraordinaire. The king of a heartbreak song. One of my best friends.
nice.
Glad to see him hanging out.
And we've got Chance, who's the bass player for Trauma Bond and Far From Sober,
Cool.
hanging out in the chat. We've got a lot of people. This is really a good turnout.
Nice.
Yeah, somebody else is saying looks like Yui, you're mistaken not, saying my boy. And yeah.
See the bands in
So
there.
yeah. So away from music, Alec,
Mm-hmm.
what are some of your hobbies and interests?
I really like books and buying CDs and vinyl. Kind of a toy collector. I'm big into some horror movie stuff, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Hot Wheels.
Nice.
But yeah, mostly I just read or watch movies or listen to music in my free time.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm a pretty big reader
Mhm.
myself, but we're going to now be getting more into details about the band,
Mhm.
and what we're going to do is I'm going to play about the first minute of one of y'all's songs, "Just Be Here."
Nice.
And just to give people a taste of what you guys are all about. So I'm going to share my screen and we will play about the first minute of that song.
Nice.
And that is a
Incredible.
absolutely fabulous song.
Yeah, I love it. That was absolutely
that particular song. I really pick up almost a Green Day vibe.
nice.
Uh, I, I
You're
don't know
probably
if that's
not
what y'all
far
were
off.
going for, but yeah. But so tell me about the Lazy Ghouls. You know, how long have you guys been together? How did the band form? Where did the name come from? I love the name.
If you can believe it, the Lazy Ghouls have really not existed for that long. The Lazy Ghouls have
Okay.
existed longer in name than they have in person. We are maybe 3-4 months old.
Wow.
Yeah, well, prior to the Lazy Ghouls, it was the 10,000 Ghouls. Ghouls is just a cool name, a cool spooky name. We like ghouls. But as we got more and more together and consistent and established, 10,000 wasn't that great of a descriptor, but when it came to choosing a different descriptor for what we were, lazy popped up several times. So we're ghouls, not at 10,000 in number, but we are ghouls when it comes to motivation and being lazy.
Gotcha.
Well,
So, do you play in any other bands or side projects, or are you pretty much a ghoul through and through?
I'm a ghoul 100%, fully committed, entirely monogamous to the ghouls.
Awesome. So, you know, within a band, you know, the bass player and the drummer are usually in a partnership as the rhythm section of the band. Tell me
Right.
about your relationship with the drummer and the Ghouls. What do y'all do to lock in with each other and that kind of thing?
The drummer in the ghouls is the greatest drummer that's ever existed. His name is Rollo. I always celebrate my partnership with Rollo by wearing a goofy shirt of a man with a bass and a drum kit. You know, this is me and this is Rollo. That's us and the Ghouls. You know. But Rollo and I get along great. All we have to do is look at each other, and we can nail it. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So, tell me about the songwriting process within the band. Is there a primary writer, or is it a collaborative thing? How does that go?
We're trying to become the next Beatles. You know, it is very heavy on collaboration between the four of us. It skews probably a little bit towards Izzy and Max, our guitarist. But for the most part, everybody's involved, and we all have an input and a say on what gets done, what gets played, when it gets played.
Gotcha.
Yep.
So, I really like the sound. What was the process in recording that EP?
Izzy's basement.
Okay.
Izzy's basement, and
That worked.
an incredible producer plus Izzy outside of the state. And that's all there is to it.
Well, you know, it really sounds good, especially for kind of a basement type effort.
I know,
I
right?
mean, that's you guys really outdid yourselves. That's some really good stuff.
We're incredibly happy with it.
So, you know, I already kind of know the answer to this, but you know, so Lazy Ghouls at this point is not a full-time thing. Tell us a little bit about your day job.
Right. At this very specific moment in time, it's not 100% my full-time job, but I spend a lot more time with this than I do with my full-time job. We are rapidly approaching full-time Ghoul status. But yeah,
Cool.
So outside of the Ghouls, I have a bachelor's in biology, and I'm a scientist by day. I work in food safety.
Nice.
Yep.
Nice. So, whether it be the Ghouls or otherwise, what have been some of the most interesting experiences that you've had playing live?
We've only had one show, buddy.
Okay.
It was a house party for a lovely woman who loves the local punk scene, and she was celebrating a birthday. It was a pool party, you know. Everybody hung out.
Nice.
You got called 10 minutes before you were ready to play. No set times, no nothing. Just you set up your stuff and went.
Oftentimes, there's a lot to be said for that. You know, no prep, just go out there and do your thing.
Right. It's if it has anything to say about how the future is going to go, then it's only going to get better and better and better. So
awesome.
We're so excited to see.
So what is your favorite Ghouls song to play?
I'm gonna go with Peace of Mind.
Okay.
Peace of Mind has an energy, and the length is perfect, and the riff that I play in that is I could play it for hours on end and not get sick and tired of it. So
very cool.
Yeah.
Well, I saw the announcement earlier that you guys have a show coming up at the Masquerade. That is awesome. I am just over the moon excited for you guys.
We go from
that's a big deal.
The basement of a house to the Masquerade in 2 shows. This projection is putting us at Wembley, and Izzy's going to be so excited.
Yeah. So, what are you originally from here in Atlanta?
I'm from the Atlanta area, yeah.
Gotcha. So, what is your favorite thing about the Atlanta area?
The Atlanta area, I will say that specifically I am from Cartersville. I no longer live in Cartersville, but I am from Cartersville. Now that currently, I would say the best thing about Cartersville is that Cartersville gave birth to the Lazy Ghouls.
Gotcha.
I haven't lived there for a couple of years, so I don't know what it's like now, but I'll say that.
My wife's family all live in Cartersville.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. Yep,
Nice.
They sure do.
Cool.
So, yep. So, what are your thoughts on the Atlanta music scene?
The Atlanta music scene is bustling, thriving. It's very, very good. You can find something to love, to like, to listen to, and be happy. Atlanta still is kind of a major hip hop city, but the punk scene is there. The punk scene is alive. The punk scene is doing quite well. So for the most part, I don't really have any complaints about it whatsoever.
Yeah, it's the Atlanta scene in particular just seems to be loaded with talent. I mean,
oh, yeah.
I've been sort of dipping my toes in a lot of different scenes around the country, and partially because I'm based here in Atlanta, and I guess I'm kind of biased for that reason. I tend to find myself coming back to the Atlanta scene,
right?
But yeah. I went to a show a couple weeks ago now up at the Blackstrap in Gainesville.
Yeah, we love that place.
That was really a great show.
Right?
Yeah, and it's a neat little venue.
Oh yeah. It's incredible. Everybody is so happy that exists.
Oh yeah.
The guy that runs it is super cool too. So
yeah. Yep. So, this is a question that I've asked in every one of these, and I just love the varied answers that I get. And that is, Alec, knowing everything that you know now, if you could give any advice to your younger self, what would it be?
Ooh. I would say take those music theory lessons more seriously. Maybe ask for a loan at 3 years old and invest in the stock market in 2008 or something,
Yeah.
Or right before, whatever.
Gotcha.
Something that would get me a ton of money. Yeah.
Oh yeah. Nothing wrong with that. I'm going to pop back over to the Instagram tab and just see what people are saying here. Let's see. We have got a ton of people.
Yeah, good numbers.
Yeah. Izzy Crash is making a lot of comments. Best duo ever. Emmy-winning producers make a major difference. And let's see here. Man, this is a really good turnout. I'm very pleased with this. We've definitely got a lot of folks.
Yeah. Our buddy, our guitarist extraordinaire in here, Keep Watch, has declared that Jocko only needed 4 strings. So
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
that settles that.
Yeah, and he just said Baby Shark.
No.
People are calling for you to put the hood back up.
I can try it. You know, it's so goofy, but I love it so much. And then
Oh, and
figure it out.
Jason McLean from Antagonist Theory just popped in saying, "What's going on? How you doing, Jason?"
Nice.
Yeah, this is great. We've really got a nice turnout for this. So do you have any suggestions for any other up and coming bands to check out or potentially reach out to for one of these live stream chats? I'm always, looking for suggestions for other people to approach about, getting them on here.
Yeah. There's a good amount of stuff local. I'll throw everybody out that we played our last show with, and I'll say go for Hard Spread, Catch These Hands, and Rosa Asphyxia, all from the Atlanta area.
I actually saw a Hard Spread up at the Blackstrap a couple weeks ago. They are very good. Very good.
They're very good and very fun. Yeah, their bass player extraordinaire, Amy Epperly. If you ever want to get her, it would be incredible.
Yeah, I was actually watching her play, and I was definitely impressed.
Oh yeah,
she's quite a hand. So, so something else that we've done in all of these is we basically allow each person to pose a question for the next person in the hot seat. So so my previous guest, my most recent guest, we never actually got to this point. The interview went far and wide, and we ended up not getting to this portion. But the previous guest, Chris Cassine, who is the bass player for a band out in Kansas City called Scarlet View. He posed this question, which ends up being for you. If you were stranded on a desert island and could only have one bass, whether it's one that you own or one that you dream about, what bass would it be?
I'm just gonna pick the 5-string Ibanez sound gear that I've got. A 6-string bass isn't gonna do anything for me. Or actually, hold on. If we're gonna count dream basses, can I get a is the bass 6 like the bass that looks like a guitar but is just an octave lower, like a bunch of new wave artists use? Is that cheating?
You can have anything you want.
This
is Dream World.
Sure, I'm picking a bass 6 then, which is more like a guitar than it is a bass, but it's definitely a bass.
Gotcha.
Yep.
Well, since this is a series, now do you have a question you want to pose to the next person in the hot seat?
Tell me if this makes sense at all, but if you could fill in for the bass player on any album or song, past or present, what album song are you going to pick?
Oh, good question.
Say that we just went back to the 80s and we just scratched out Simon's name on The Cure's Disintegration and just replaced my name, Does that make sense?
Very cool.
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Cool.
Yeah, the next guest is actually going to be Phil Balzer, who is the bass player for another Atlanta band called Echoes of Savages.
Oh, really?
I
Yeah, I
saw
know who
them.
they are.
I saw them at the I saw them at the Blackstrap actually,
Nice.
and they were also really really
Mhm.
good.
Yep.
But so do you guys have any, I guess, new stuff coming out, or are you still pretty much just riding the stuff from Louder Than Bombs?
Well, we are moving very fast. So yes, of course, there's stuff that's getting close to coming out. We're
Well,
right in the
cool.
middle of song finishing and recording very soon.
Very cool. Well, something I'll go ahead and let you know about. I've started once a month doing a new music spotlight show
Mm-hmm.
where basically if a band has new stuff coming out,
Mm-hmm.
they can come on to the show either live or we can do a pre-recorded segment that'll get played, and the new song will get played in its entirety, and then members of the band can talk about the song, what it means, the
Mm-hmm.
songwriting process, the recording process, that kind of thing, and just let it be known that you or anyone else from the Ghouls are more than welcome as new stuff comes out to jump on the new music spotlight show. I'd love to have you
Yeah,
guys.
thank you. That's incredible. Yeah,
Yeah.
either when it's available, either I'll specifically hit you up, or I'll have the Ghouls account hit you up, and
Okay.
we can work that out.
Yeah, that would definitely be great. So, aside from the social media stuff I've got going on the ticker on the bottom of the screen, is there any other social media that you'd like to hype? You said you're most active on Instagram, but is there anything else that we should know about?
You got, if the Instagram's on there, that's great. We got a Facebook and a TikTok, but I'd say if there's anywhere that you want to follow us, it should be on Spotify.
Yeah, I got that. So, aside from the show coming up at the Masquerade, do you
Mhm.
guys have any other shows lined up?
Um, Not that I'm currently aware of. The Masquerade is currently the big one, and that
And
was
that's a big one.
yeah, and that was announced what, maybe an hour before I logged on to do this. So that's the big announcement for the
No,
day,
I'm
for the weekend.
definitely thrilled to be able to help spread the word on that.
Yeah.
I mean, I am just over the moon for you guys. That is just really a big deal because a lot of bands have really gotten their starts at the Masquerade.
Oh,
So,
right. What an incredible venue too.
oh
I've been
yeah,
going there my entire life. I'm so psyched to be there.
yeah, that's definitely a big deal. But so I'm gonna take another quick peek over at the Instagram here. Um, Lazy Ghouls are uh, they're saying a lot. We've got um, somebody named Melissa Sue has joined, and she's being very active.
She's very cool and active on her posts too. So
Oh,
glad she's
cool.
here. Yeah, I recognize the name.
And um, Jason was saying, "Yo, what about doing one of these live from a show? I wonder what the logistics would be." Never tried something like that, but I'd be open to doing something like that in the future. We would just have to see, how that would all work out.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
You could live stream from your phone.
oh yeah,
It would, you know. your battery would drain and you wouldn't have the privilege of being hooked up the whole time. But
Right.
yeah.
Right. But yeah, like I said, before we went live, when I first started with this, I was streaming just, strictly on Instagram. And then, after a few of those, I decided to go a little bigger and, went with this platform.
Mhm.
And initially, the first bunch of these I was doing actually from our kitchen table. And I finally decided to move my act down to the basement because I could leave things set up a little more permanently,
Right.
whereas doing it on the kitchen table, I was having to do,
Mhm.
a lot of setup and tear down. My wife actually does some streaming for the tea community in social media. She's
Mhm.
something of a subject matter expert in the world of tea. So
Nice.
so she does my tech support and moderates the chat while I'm streaming, and then I do the same thing for her while she's streaming. So
Nice.
it kind of works out good,
Mm,
and we've both been able to kind of leverage our hobbies and interests
right.
into something fun. So
That's
it's a good thing.
cute. That's so cute. Very cool.
But yep. Well, I guess we're going to start wrapping this up. But those of you that have been watching this live, thank you. If you like what we're doing here, definitely spread the word. And keep popping in on these lives and
Mhm.
interact with us, because that's really the name of the game, is just growing community, building relationships, and just enjoying good new music.
Oh yeah, for
and
sure.
and there's a ton of it, and you guys have a very bright future, and I'm
We
definitely excited to follow your progress.
we
So,
appreciate you being along for the ride. We're just as thrilled as you are, if not more. So
and so everybody just have a safe, enjoyable, fun weekend, and a safe week ahead. And I will be back live. I guess it's Thursday, June the 6th, at 8 p.m. with Phil from Echoes of Savages.
nice.
Um, Definitely looking forward to that.
That'll be a
And
good one.
yeah, for sure. And the podcast version of this will be out in a few days, and this will get reposted onto Instagram. It'll probably have to be broken into 2 or 3 parts,
Mhm.
because Instagram's reels have a time limit on them. So,
Right. Yeah.
but that'll all be up, over the next couple of days.
Mhm.
And anyway,
We'll start
so
sharing it as
y'all
soon as
be
it's up. So
That's great. I definitely appreciate you guys, and
mhm.
your support, and your friendship have really been very nice. So um, anyway, everybody have a great night, and we will go ahead and kill this off here. And